And now we finally come to Seven Deadly Synths. So Michelle, you follow up the wildly popular live stream with a short film. Was that the intention all along, or is this something that just kind of fell into your lap?
Well, not really. I mean, I remember after live stream I was thinking, I don't think I can ever go back to shorts because I really like making features. My work is much better in long form, I think. I struggle with telling short stories. And as you...
Planned 3 short stories.
Well, yes, I'm making 4 movies this year, and 3 of them are shorts, and 1 of them is an accidental feature. But yeah, so I should mention that Synths actually is going to be a feature. This is a proof of concept for a feature, and I think that you can kind of tell that there's a lot going on in those 12 minutes.
Yes.
So yeah, it's kind of like that scene is supposed to be one of the opening scenes of the film, and then the movie is actually about him stealing the synthesizer. So, yeah.
It can almost kind of work as a web series or a TV show too, because it kind of felt like a lead into a series, which I think would be cool too.
Yeah, it was actually, that was one of the biggest struggles I think I had with it, was the idea of, I've seen in the past sometimes when people make proof of concepts, they're very unsatisfying in short films, that it's kind of like all lead up and no payoff. So I at least wanted to have like a mini arc in there, so it will stand alone as a short film even if it doesn't go on to feature, that it still has value and it's not just, all pitch. So that was something I was really like getting in my head about when I was writing the script. But then I realized that, when I wrote that last line that I'm gonna steal that synthesizer, that was the proof that it was real, and I'm like, oh, that's the whole mini arc, is that you don't know if it is or not. You don't know if you're crazy. So it worked.
So is the Seven Deadly Synthesizers, I don't know a lot about the music scene. Is that based on any kind of myth in real time? Electronic music at all? He's like, no, not at all.
No.
So, Austin, tell us a little bit of what it's like to work with Michelle on her movies and what you brought to the table here on this film.
I don't know what I brought to the table. Yeah, she came up to me with the idea of like, hey, what if we made a crazy synthesizer-themed synthwave movie that had absolutely nothing to do with 80s nostalgia?
That's actually quite clever, yeah.
And then it came down to, but it's got to be a fantasy or a horror so that I can submit it to everywhere I want to go. And we had like a possessed synthesizer for a while, and then I was like, there could be 7 deadly synthesizers, and we could go the end game route and collect all of them. And then she's like, that's a little too long.
Too many synthesizers, yeah.
So then I just kind of carried around a book and wrote down every joke I could come up with about synthesizers.
Very cool, very cool. Maximilian, so very charismatic in the film. I thought you were a great lead.
Thank you.
You would definitely be able to hold a feature by yourself. So
thank you.
That was fantastic.
Well, we're gonna see if he can.
Yeah. Without a doubt. I wanted right away. I wanted to see you go find the 7 Deadly Synths. I was like, it's over already. So, is this your first time working with Michelle?
No, actually, Michelle found me back in February. We filmed Detroit Awakening on YouTube now, and that was the first experience that I've had with Michelle. And ever since then, we've had a really great working relationship, and we've also become really close friends. So that was a very far cry from Synths, for sure. Detroit Awakening follows basically an android who's discovering human emotion for the first time, and this guy is manic as hell. So. Yeah, so from there, she kind of got to know me, and Austin got to know me during Detroit Awakening, and noticed that my personality kind of fit in with Seth a little too much, so they wanted to have me read for it. And then I submitted a video, and here we are. So
I like the idea that it was basically, is there a word, a throuple? Is that?
Yeah, that's one of the great things about Michelle as a filmmaker in general. She's huge on representation, not just for LGBTQI plus people, but as well as polyamory, and being able to tell those stories and not stereotype them and make them one note.
It's just there. It's not made a big deal about. It's like, this is how it is.
Exactly.
And that's how it should be.
And I feel like when people watch these manic characters with these sort of like slightly feminine tendencies, there's the tendency for like the small lines where you have the whole cargo shorts, like kind of catty vibe to it, that can become the whole character, but she has a really great way of fully fleshing out everyone that she
Yes.
writes to make sure that they're a human that you would recognize as opposed to just a caricature.
Did you guys have any challenges on set that you kind of had to work through? Maybe something coming up that unexpected?
For me, it's always schedule, particularly because I was working with a DP for the first time, and he shoots on a Red, which is a camera I had never worked with before, so I did not realize that it's not you just prop it on a tripod and it's ready to go, like the C100 is. Like, it takes an hour and a half to set up, and then like you have to have a charging station and all this stuff. And I scheduled it very fiercely. We only had 12 hours in the location, and we filmed the entire movie. And additionally, it's a 17-page script. You saw 12 minutes of it, but 3 scenes that we shot were actually cut from this film. This is very much a film that was made in editing, like a lot of my stuff. But yeah, so it was time. It was just like running through we were like 3 hours behind schedule at some point. But we still managed to make it work, and it's a testament of Jonathan and a good cast that we could do a lot of it in like 2 takes and just like, or even 1 take in some cases, and just go.